What good is the warmth of summer without the cold of winter to give it sweetness? Somehow, I don't think John Steinbeck's words would bring much sweetness to the people of New London. Hello and welcome to Taking It Offline, the series where I recommend video games for busy people so that you can spend less time searching and more time playing. My name is Ian, and in this video I'll show you what makes Frostpunk a good game for busy people. Frostpunk is a top-down city planner that takes place in what very well may be the world of Snowpiercer. In 1886, the world was taken over by an apocalyptic ice storm that froze life as we knew it. In an effort to prepare for the worst, the United Kingdom Brexited from Europe and sent settlers to the north in search of resource-rich areas. After being separated from the main group of explorers, a ragtag bunch of settlers find a coal-powered generator and establish the city of New London. Under the warmth of the generator, they will attempt to wait out the storm and reforge a civilization. You will be thrust into the role of captain, deciding what is built in your city, where it will be built, and which citizens will staff it. You'll have to balance resource collection with technological advancement and searching the tundra for survivors, cities, and resources. Of course, as is the human condition, the people of the city aren't robots, and their hope for a warmer future will falter. Their trust in you will wane, and their willingness to band together will dissolve. Only under strong leadership will the city survive. As captain, you can build better lodging to warm up your people. You can open up a fight club for the citizens to work out some of their aggression. You can improve your heat generation facilities to thaw the cold hands of the workers. For the busy person who has enjoyed city planners in the past, such as SimCity, Cities Skyline, or dare I say Surviving Mars, Frostpunk is a unique addition to the collection. Eschewing the traditional Cartesian grid of city planning, Frostpunk instead transforms us into the polar system, expanding radially outward from the steam generator. Gone are the stuffy suits lobbying for privatized roads. Instead, you'll need to decide if the city needs child labor. Decide if the cookhouse should get priority over the infirmary for the heat emanating from the generator. These are new decisions that require pragmatic thinking, sort of like the who would you throw out of a life raft team building discussion. So, if you're into city planners, but you're looking for something thematically and mechanically different, Frostpunk is going to be a breath of familiar yet fresh air, albeit a bit drafty. Of course, if you're a busy person that isn't into city planners, peruse the rest of the Taking It Offline videos for other games I recommend for busy people. Frostpunk naturally segments itself in day-long increments. At the beginning of the day, a horn sounds and the workers head to their posts. As the day goes on and night falls, the workers leave their posts and head inside for warmth and rest. After the night passes, the horn sounds again and the loop repeats. This means that you can easily determine when it is a good time to exit the game. Using game speed controls, you can hop on and fast forward through a few days in 10 minutes, or spend 10 minutes paused while you plan out the best way to drill wood out of the crater wall without giving your citizens frostbite. The game naturally divides itself into night and day cycles with the sounds of a horn, providing an audio cue that might let you know it's time to get the laundry out of the machine or preheat the oven. Then when you're done, exit the game. When you load back up, you'll be right where you left off and can continue on trying not to freeze. I also recommend Frostpunk because the campaign has a story that is impacted by your choices. Throughout the life cycle of New London, you're asked to determine the fate of various denizens and make laws that will change the trajectory of your city. Does a city on the brink of being frozen need a heavy-handed law and order rule? Or should you instead lean into the faith of the people? Do you allow dissenting speech against you, which could erode the hope of the people? Or censor your opposition, instead fomenting discontent? Each playthrough of Frostpunk will see New London as a different entity, experiencing the same story beats as it goes until you either complete the campaign, lose all of your citizens, or are just flat out banished from the city for being a bad ruler. Frostpunk is hard. It's possible to lose if your citizens run out of hope or lose their faith in your leadership. Also, everyone could freeze or starve to death. If that happens, you'll have to either restart or load up an earlier save. That said, I actually enjoyed restarting because I got to write a fresh story for New London each time I did, and there were various random events that would happen throughout my playthrough. But what won Frostpunk over for me was the system of laws. Each choice is a trade-off, and different citizens have different opinions. If you bring pubs into New London, for example, some people will be relieved that they have a place to blow off some steam, while others will believe that it's distracting from the task at hand. Depending on which laws are in effect, you're also given different responses to various random events and crises that take place within the city. In that manner, I felt like I was the central character in a desperate bid to save humanity from a frozen demise. Frostpunk is a cool and crisp take on the city planning genre. Much like Surviving Mars, the setting provides new and interesting challenges which will require the player to determine the best course of action. Pragmatism doesn't always win when considering the emotional state of your citizens. The addition of a story is interesting, and it provides context to the city you are building and the wasteland you are sending scouts out to explore. All in all, I give Frostpunk 5 frozen ice Brexiteers out of 5 frozen ice Brexiteers. Highly recommended.